Hey YouTubers, this is Old John. Gonna make a video on draining my sprinkler system. Here is the check valve. Line comes in from my water meter. Comes up out of the ground here. Copper pipe. This is very popular for thieves, so make sure if you live in an area where I like to steal this, you might actually have to put a cage around it. But anyway, it has a series of petcocks here where you can attach things for blowing your system out and so forth if you want. What I do is open these once I turn off the water to this line, and then I disconnect this and bleed it here. But this is a check valve to keep in case there would be a water main break and the pressure in the water main goes to zero. You don't siphon anything from the house, like a hose down into a laundry sink or something like that had dirty water in it. A cross connection it's called. And this check valve only allows the flow to go that way and not back. So these should be tested periodically also. So first though, so if I open one of these, we get water. So the water's on, so I want to first close the valve at the meter and turn that water off. And that's located over here where my water comes into the house. I'm walking approximately on top of the 1-inch water service line I have. It's a little larger than normal, 3/4 is normal, but when you have a sprinkler system, it's good to have a larger one. Here's my water meter. This is a touch read device that allows them just to touch that with a wand and get a reading from the meter, and then they don't have to go actually down into the meter and take time to read it the old-fashioned way. Here's the line going off to my sprinkler system. This is mine, so we'll take this top off. Down in here is the corporation valve. We're going to shut the water off with this valve wrench, the T-handle wrench, about 4 feet long. This is made out of rebar. It has this kind of a end on it, and this goes down over the rectangular shaped valve. So we're going to put this down in. Okay, I think I've got it off. So okay, in order to see if the water is off, we have to make sure this valve is on. I just got it partially on, but these petcocks here, when you have the screw turned perpendicular to the petcock, turns it off. So you turn it like so. I heard a little rush of air, so it appears to be off. There was a little bit of water that came out of that one, but they appear to be off. So we have the water off. So now we can loosen this I'm just going to use my crescent wrench here. And there's not a thread on the back side. Screws into the back plate. Okay, that last nut loosened enough that the water's draining out now. Okay, I can take this completely off, and for the winter if I want, or just leave it on like that. But I've relieved the pressure and drained the line. Here's the valve, that first valve that the sprinkler system goes through. You can turn these by hand if you want, but they're electrically controlled. So now we're ready to check the sprinkler heads and see if they've drained using my self-draining valves, check valves that I put on a couple years ago. It's typical to blow them out with compressed air, but what I did to my system, which was here when I purchased the house, I'm the second owner of the house, I put in drains. So when I'm trying to show you my as-built plan here. So when the pressure is taken off of the sprinkler lines, the water in the sprinkler lines drains out through a drain that I've put on some of the branches, and then you don't have to use compressed air to blow them out. Also, I've found that you can just use a wet dry vac to actually suck out some of the water too that's left. But here's an as-built, if you want to call it that, of my system. This is the house. I have 12 systems. One here, 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 along here, along here, along this back edge, along the very back, couple in the middle there. I have a landscaping bed here, one on each side, and then here on the south side of the lot here. Generally my lot is oriented so this direction is to the south, and this will be the north, of course, and the street and the property is generally sloping from the south to the north. So I tried to take the low spots on some of the lines and put the drain, because that's where the water is going to drain to and completely drain the line, hopefully. So I put one right here, and I'll put a link here on this page, and you can probably see it, that you can go to and see how I installed these drains on the sprinkler system. So I put one there, then I jumped around and put one here, one down here, here, and here. think that's all of them. So I put 5 in. I have 12 zones. So, but my theory was that these zones would, some of them would drain to the others, and that may or may not be correct. But anyway, so as a backup, I don't use compressed air to get rid of the water anyway, so I just go around and check the highest or the lowest drains, and then see if there's water accumulated in them, and then just literally back it out. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go to one and see if there's water. Okay, this is the lowest sprinkler on this line, and there are 3 along this, running up through this bed and then up to the edge of the driveway. So I put a drain somewhere out in here, because there's a line running over here and then down to the south. So let's take this sprinkler head off. And these are Rainbird sprinklers. And they just screw out and move some of the rocks away so they don't fall into the hole. Okay. Okay, I'm pulling the spring and everything out, but that gives me a good view. So then let's look down in here with flashlight. It's so bright out here, I don't know. We can see, but looking down in the hole, I don't see any water. So this drain is working. There's a little moisture at the very bottom, but really no moisture or no water to be concerned about. The frost level can get 2 to 3 feet deep here in Missouri, but so these sprinkler lines are usually in the vicinity of like 6 to 12 inches below the ground. So that's definitely drained. So I don't have to worry about this line. So let's put the sprinkler head back in. And put the rock back around it. This rock, by the way, comes from the Mississippi River. Okay, let's move on. You want to make measurements to your sprinkler heads, because if they're not used especially very often, they'll get covered up with grass and dirt. I'm looking for this one now on the front edge of my property. And I made a note here. Probably can't see this, but this is the last one here, which is the lowest one, which is one I want to check, because all the water is going to run to here. 20 feet 8 inches from the edge of the stone around this landscaping here. So I measured to it from that stone wall, and now I'm probing. You can use a screwdriver. I've got an old surveying spike. There, I've got it cleared out, and you can just use these water pump pliers to turn it. Okay, that's full of water. Now, I don't have a drain on this line, so I would expect that. So we'll put that back in for now. So we'll move on to the next one. Okay, now I'm doing this side yard. I was just over here. Now this one I have a note that it's by this setback stake that shows the property line, but also how far back the houses have to be set for the house. And I've got that it's by the stake, so they're going to use this. This has a nice sharp end on it. It's really good for probing into the ground, and I found it here just a few inches from the stake. So I'll clear it off. So it's cleared away pretty well. Let's see if we can unscrew it. Okay, there it is out. And there's some water in there. Just maybe an inch or two. Not too bad. I'll let it go and see if I need to pump it out or not later. Okay, the rest of this, I was just up at the stake. This bottom one is down here. Again, this is why measurements are extremely important. And I had it marked at 9 feet over on that white birch, and then 5 feet this way. And there it is. See, it's covered by about an inch of grass and soil. So measurements are extremely important. Of course, you can always turn these on and see exactly where they're at, but then you load the system up with water that you have to take out. So I have it uncovered. Now we'll pull it out. Okay, so I pulled it out, and there's probably it's probably 3/4 full of water. This is the low point of the sprinkler system. There's 3 heads on this line, so I'll pump it out from here. Okay, I'm going to pump out this sprinkler head. Here's the top I've removed. There's the water. It's probably about half full. This is on a series of sprinklers that go down through here. There's probably about 3 on here. I'm going to use something new I got. It's a drill pump. Got my portable drill, and I'm going to use this Star drill pump. It's a 1/4 inch. You attach it to your drill and put some hose on it. I have this fairly long piece of hose. It's the shortest I have. I'm going to put it on here and try pumping it out. Okay, here we go. And pumped it right down. Some of it's running back in. Need a little check valve on it to work perfectly. It's not pumping enough water to even fill up this hose, so that's a good sign. There's not much in there. So I'm putting this back in. This is next to a valve box. It has several valves here. There's 2 valves, lines going that way that go up. They go up to the lines go along this bed, and then up the hill up to the corner of the property. And then this valve is right outside of the box. ready to move on. Okay, we're going to do this one now. It's a line that has 3 sprinklers up this way. It's a low point. I always do this at a low point, of course. You can see the water in there. There are 3 more that go down to this corner of the lot, but they have a drain on them, so I'm not going to worry about that. So I have my pump set up here. Okay, that's pumped it down. Some of the water's running back in though. That's working now. Looks like it's pumped down now. We can put that back in. Move on to one more. Okay, this one's along the front of the property, and this is the last of 3, and it's the lowest one. It's along the front edge of the property. My connection on my phone is not airtight. It's pretty good. We'll see if it flows back in or not. As the line drains down to here. I think that's about it. Button it up. I think that's all I'm going to do this season. I didn't use a couple lines, so I didn't even let them get water into them. So this is poor man's way of draining your sprinkler system. Probably costs a couple $100, maybe $300 more to have this done by a professional. But I put in some drains on about 6 of my lines, and then I just pump these out. So we'll let it set for the winter and see how it goes. So old John signing off.